Good day to you, one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins, and this is Justin Hawkins Rides Again. Out comes he shaved his moustache off. I love that little bit of hair on his top lip, and I'm not used to seeing him naked, skin-wise. I shaved my moustache off, and that's the end of the story. Don't worry, I'm going to grow it back. It feels weird, actually. I feel like I look like Gonzo from the Muppets. It's just been years, and I wanted to see what it was like, because I thought we'd concluded all of our live engagements, and I thought I'd have a chance to sort of sit with it for a moment and live with it, but nope. Tomorrow I'm flying to Kansas City, Missouri to perform at the Thundergong event, which is hosted by Jason Sudeikis and is a charitable festival in association with Steps of Faith. We're going to put links to those events and charities in the description today. I'm going to have to sing without a moustache for the first time in approximately 7 years, I suppose. I momentarily shaved off my moustache and then grew it back immediately. I think that's what's going to happen again. So fear not, normal service will be resumed in about 3 weeks when my moustache repopulates in this area here. Apart from that, my trademark gap there. Or, I mean, you could just imagine it as the gap has just widened a bit and to include my whole face. I'll stop talking about it now. Today, I'm going to start talking about Avril Lavigne and Yungblud, who have collaborated on a song called I'm a Mess, released on the 3rd of November 2022. That was only a few days ago, and I'm excited to hear it for the first time before your very eyes. Justin Hawkins rides again. I love these Bigsby wobble handles. You know these ones? You can't use them for dive bombs or anything like that, but it's good for a little bit of sensual. I wonder if you can still do the gargle. Sort of. Yeah, nearly. Alright, cool. I'm a Mess, released the 3rd of November. Avril Lavigne, of course, is considered a highlight in the pop-punk and alternative rock scene. She was signed at 16 years old and is now 38. The previous Avril Lavigne video that I covered, the one which had Travis from Blink-182 with a bean hat, had neither a bean nor a bobble upon it, and yet. Anyway, I won't go into all that again. But she looked really young, and a lot of people were sort of saying, or asking the question, what is her secret? Does she drink the blood of innocence, or perhaps she just stays out of the sun and uses a very expensive moisturizer? Whatever she's doing, it's working. She's released 7 studio albums during this time, and Yungblud is a 26-year-old English singer and musician. He cites rock, pop, and hip-hop artists such as Arctic Monkeys and Alex Turner, The Beatles, The Cure, Robert Smith, Nirvana, Avril Lavigne, and The Clash as influences. I'm not seeing a lot of hip-hop in that list there, so I'll add some. Tribe Called Quest. Is that one? De La Soul, Snap, featuring Turbo, who the self-professed greatest rapper of all time. He didn't cite those, but perhaps they would sit on that list to flesh it out a bit and make it a bit more hip-hop based. Anyway, Yungblud has released 3 studio albums. I've just realised that in my mind, despite having covered both of them extensively since the inception of this brilliant YouTube channel, which I love doing, by the way, I've just got Yungblud confused with Machine Gun Kelly in my mind. They are 2 different people from different parts of the world. Yungblud is the 26-year-old English singer and musician. Right, shall we watch the video? Yeah, let's do that. Nice one. Here we go. Oh shit, it's a D tune. Right, it's time to employ the capo. I mean, ordinarily I'd D tune. It seems like it's down a semitone because I think that first chord was a D. I hit a D, found myself to be a semitone out. Embarrassing. There it is. So, ordinarily it would be... So I think if my first instincts were correct, let's transpose it momentarily, just to... That's what it would be. But because I can't be bothered to detune everything, I'm just going to stick a capo on and change the inversion so that the first chord is basically an A shape, second chord would be a B minor shape, third chord would be a D shape, but it's all from the 4th fret and it should be in tune.
I know I'm a mess when we're not together.
I'm a mess. So, the relationship between that first note and the first chord is really cool. I always think that's like, it's a good way to posh up a chord is to stick that note in there. So relationally it's actually the 9th, and it doesn't matter whether it's a minor or a major chord because the 9th note in either of those scales is the same one. It's basically the second one from the octave. So it's that note there. So on an A, and it immediately resolves to the root of the second chord, which is the B minor, or it's actually an E minor, but for the purposes of this, I'm going to refer to things according to their positions with this capo on at 4. So that's like the root of the B minor. I'm going to modify the camera position to show this. Yeah, so everything I'm going to say, I'll say in relation to the inversions that I'm playing. So if I say A, what I actually mean is C sharp. But I'm going to say A because it's an A shape with the capo on at 4. So when the first note of that chorus, I'm a mess, where's it go again? I'm just going to play it quickly. I'm a mess when we're not together. So she goes straight to the what is the 9th on the A, but it resolves immediately to the root of the second chord, which is a B minor. And then it does something really interesting because it goes to the D, and it's still there. It's still on that same note, which would be, what is that now? A D sharp. Ordinarily it would be an E, of course, but I've said that enough now. Right, so on the D it's like a 6th, so it goes a 9, root, 6th on those 3 chords. Which is nice. You get that's a major 7th on that 3rd chord, the D. This is a pop melody structure for the chorus. Line repeats twice. The lyric changes, but the melody is the same. Or maybe she goes, but thematically it's the same sort of thing. And then the 3rd line is a departure, and I would imagine that when it gets to the 4th line, it's going to do something similar to the first 2. But I might be wrong. Till the end, but I know I'm a mess. Okay, I was wrong. And I'm the first to admit that. And she does something like... And then... I'm a mess. Here's what I love. Right at the end it poshes up and it gets away from this sort of pentatonic. With a lovely, like if you think that the key is this, perhaps. If it's in A, then it's like a nice major seventh that appears in the melody at the end of the chorus, just to posh it up. Or it's if it's in F sharp, or rather B sharp. Sorry, I know it's a bit confusing. This capo is causing no end of trouble, but the point I'm making is if the scale is this, then suddenly this seventh here, major seventh, appears in the melody, which poshes it up nicely. If it's this, it's a nice second or ninth that appears, and it takes it away from any of the sort of pentatonic musings that we thought it might be before. See, that is just that little note there makes it all lovely at the end, doesn't it? It's a clever bit of pop writing, that is.
It hasn't been the same since that night.
I mean, I love Yungblud. I think everything that he stands for is, I've said it before on an earlier bit of coverage of his stuff, and I think he's an important artist. You know, I really think that there's greatness in him and potential, but when you hear him sing, you can't say that's a punk vocal. It just sounds like a...
It hasn't been the same since that night.
I mean, that sounds really processed, really treated, and to me it sounds like a pop production vocal. He looks the part, and I think he's got the right attitude. But when it comes to like the recordings, it's not translating. You know what I mean? Like I'm not hearing a lot of edgy excitement in this. And don't forget that I come from an era when punk meant things like the Sex Pistols and to a lesser degree the Clash, I suppose. This is like not that.
I wish I said I loved you just one more time.
That's definitely tuned. You can hear it in the sort of the tone of it and the way it snaps to the notes, that it's had a little bit of a massage, I think, at the hands of a computer program, something along the lines of Melodyne or what's the other one? Antares Auto-Tune.
I try to figure out how to make it right, but I don't know.
See, I think that sometimes there's a temptation to use auto-tune if it's a collaboration that's happened remotely, because if you're sitting in a room together and you're doing a duet with somebody, or if you're performing live with somebody, you naturally sort of adjust your voice to achieve the sweetness and the beating and the harmony with the person that's sitting next to you. That's why live music is so amazing, because it's like it's never perfect, but you can make adjustments to get something that's really quite moving. If two people are recording in two different studios, it's really hard to do that, and I think one of the uses for a pitch correction piece of software in the studio would be to actually make two remotely recorded voices work together, because they'll be perfectly in tune the way nature intended, I suppose, and that's a really good way to achieve that without having to have everybody in the same place. But also, if it's a quick fix if you've recorded something and you're noticing that it doesn't quite work, because it's a great leveler. That's why a lot of stuff that's auto-tuned all sounds the same, but it makes it handy if you're trying to combine two different voices that might not actually gel in real life. Oh, he's grabbing a guitar. 1 minute 37. Here we go. Hold on to your asses. Okay, panic over. I thought he was going to rip a massive solo then, and no, he's just going to strum along. They make a lovely couple, actually, don't they? My mum's 12 years older than my dad, and it worked for them. They've been together for 48 years, I think, or less, or more or less. Wait, they're in the same room. Unless there's been some sort of camera trickery. It appears to me at 2 minutes 14, they're tete-a-tete, singing loudly into each other's willing faces. This is what we paid for, isn't it? See, for me, I think when you're talking about like a rock or a rock duet, if it's not I don't know much, but I know I love you. That may be all I need to know. If it's not that, or something at that tempo, if it's something with this sort of intensity and cadence, then the thing it needs to beat is the Bryan Adams and Tina Turner. So I put it to you guys, use the comment section here. Is this a Bryan Adams and Tina Turner It's Only Love beater? Some great singing in it anyway. Just realised another similarity. I guess now it's time for me to give up. I feel it's time. Got a picture of you beside me. Got your lipstick mark still on your coffee cup. Oh yeah.
I'm a mess, I'm a mess.
There's nothing wrong with this song, is there? And it doesn't outstay its welcome. It's 3 minutes 17, which obviously that means a lot to me because I was born on the 17th March. So that's every time I see that, I fondly reminisce of the day I emerged from my mother's womb, bleary-eyed, blinking, traumatised, wondering what the hell is this topsy-turvy world that I've come into. And then, the numbers 3 and 17, sometimes they're the only thing that make any damn sense. And it doesn't outstay its welcome, unlike some of the other stuff that I've looked at in recent times. It's a lovely video, and I think what I'll do is I'll just spend a little bit of time allowing this song to sink in and consider its true value in the coming weeks and months. Use the comment section below to tell me what you think of it. But for me, it's just always great to see Avril Lavigne doing stuff, and I admire Yungblud as well. I think he's a potential game changer. So anyway, lots of love to you. See you on the ice. Justin Hawkins rides again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and watch one of these 2 videos. Nice one, guys.